You won the overall GC classification of Mardi. What was the team strategy there to get you all the points needed?
Fixed gear have been a good practice for me to play on the cadence side, but on the power side too.
Yeah. Why Team Canada got you on the team to do those races? Why you?
This is a question I asked myself the night at the hotel. He said, "Congrats, bud, you made it. You gotta attend the GPs with the national team." The solution was going to Belgium because you can race as an independent, and those Kermesses, they are so difficult. I raced with the brother of Mathieu Van der Poel, and that was the perfect way I could manage the preparation for the GPs.
A race every 2 days? How does that work over there? We don't know much about it.
It's good that you're talking about that because I had to choose sometime.
You have to choose
where I'm going because there
and
was
when I'm
sometimes
resting.
Broke the frame but didn't broke myself.
Pogacar was there, Van Aert was there, Sagan was there.
And I saw Pogacar in my wheel. I was like, what the fuck he's doing there? He took my wheel for like a few laps. Like,
really?
I got a good draft. You know, it's a sport where you need to dedicate your life and just go forward. It's just about training. The day after the GPs, I was sitting in class getting a tribology class, which is and my legs was still sore. And I was climbing the mountain with an helicopter the day before, and now I'm just listening to my teacher. And what's the hell going on? You know, what's my life right now? Do I need to make a choice?
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Charles and welcome back to my cycling YouTube channel. In this video podcast, I am receiving my good friend Nicolas Côté. I grew up cycling with Nicolas. I have met him right away in 2017 when I started fixed gear cycling. Nicolas was a Fixi Goon as well, and we raced together, we traveled together, we raced against each other as well. So I have a long relationship with him and I knew a lot about his background. So this is why it made this podcast such an interesting conversation. So what did we talk about? We talked from his transition from being a Fixi Goon to a roadie. We talked about grinding his way from the bottom of the level to the top of the cycling world as he participated into the Montreal Grand Prix and Quebec City Grand Prix last year. We also talk about the fall from it, where now 2023 is back to the amateur level, which is an absolutely insane story. So I'm sure you guys will enjoy this episode. Stick to it, stick until the end. If you have any question, make sure you leave in the comments down below. I will answer them or Nicolas will do so. Yeah, very interesting episode, very fun. And without further ado, let's jump straight into it. All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. Here I am with Nicolas Côté, a good friend of mine. We've been riding together for a long time, but Nick, why don't you introduce yourself for everyone who doesn't know you?
All right, so as you said, I present myself, Nic Côté. Of course, we've been riding since a long time, since the beginning, on the fixed gear actually. Yeah. So pretty cool that we got this talk today.
Yes, and we want to start this podcast right away because we need to first highlight what you've done last fall, which is absolutely incredible. You've raced two World Tour races, right?
Yes.
But we're not going to talk about it right now because we have to backtrack a little bit. And just how did you start cycling, first of all?
Oh, that's a crazy one. Actually, that's a good friend of mine, Richard Bergeron.
Yeah.
I was doing BMX previously, the skate park move, wall ride 360. So I knew how to fall. Yeah. that was the point. So it's been good. Never broke a bone in cycling. So that's good. I started cycling on the fixed gear scene on the Tony Crits, which is
Tony Crits.
Yeah, Tony Crits, which is a parking lot. Race
series. It was a series.
That was a series. So you had the amateur race, and you had the pro race
in a parking lot.
Yeah, and once a truck just interrupted the race for delivery at the grocery store. So yeah,
that's crazy. Hilarious. So you get your start in fixed gear, and that's where you had some quite a lot of success back then. We're talking 2018, 2019, right?
For the fixed gear,
yeah.
the first ones, something like that. I remember.
So Red Oak Crits, you've done those?
Yes. So that was the big highlights at the beginning, the ones that brought myself into cycling in the competitive world. So yeah, the first one was New York, and then we had the budget with the team to go to Milan. Mm-hmm. First one wasn't that good because I broke the bike at the beginning. The chain just stuck in the bike, so it was a tough moment.
So went all the way to Europe for a bike that did not work.
Exactly, but the year after that, I went back and I finished maybe like 16 there at Milan, so it was a good comeback.
Yeah, but now like fixed gear is a little bit something of the past. How did you transition from fixed gear to road, and how was that transition coming from a single gear to now 11 or 12 gear?
I mean, I think fixed gear have been a good practice for me because I knew how to play on the cadence side, but on the power side too.
Yeah.
And I went into the road scene because I mean in Quebec, it's the federation FQSC that regulate all the race. And Richard, the friend I talked about, said like, we need to do road race too. So there we go.
Yeah, and I think I was pretty much at the same place as you. At the beginning, I was, we only ride fixed gear, like no brakes, no gears. But at some point, you realize that if you want to race every single weekend, you have to transition to road, right?
Yes, exactly.
So going to the first Mardi series that you performed in 2019. First, you were still on a steel bike. Am I correct?
No,
that's what
actually,
Josh said.
Yeah, he said that, but I went through a steel bike during the Mardi Cycliste. But the first bike that I had was a Garneau Aert in carbon, which was a
good bike.
A good bike at the time. Yeah, at the time.
Yeah. So you won the overall GC classification of Mardi. What was the team strategy there to get you all the points needed?
At this time, it was playing every time in the sprint.
Yeah.
So I had to cover myself, relax, move at the right time. I had a good competitor, which is Alexis Cartier.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying every time to put the brake in. And this is what we're playing right now.
So you're saying that now mostly the race are won by breakaways here in Quebec, but back then in 2019, was it the case, or it was always like a fight for the points?
It was way better on my side, I would say.
Yeah.
Like I'm a puncher sprinter. Yeah. Now I'm getting an endurance guy more and more. But I knew how to stay relaxed in the pack, manage to attack at the right time and settle down and then just go at the right moment. That was the case, and this is how I got the overall. Of course, a few guys gave me some lead out. The other Nic Côté, and Addison Zawada, which was sponsored by Red Bull back then.
Yeah, that's true. Because I think back then I was not experienced enough in crit racing to help you win, because I was on the same team, but I was always in the back of the peloton.
It's all right, man.
But I was there celebrating with you.
You need to start at some point.
Exactly. And it's just, I remember how much you and the other Nic Côté had such a great synergy to working together and get you points. So, but you won Mardi la Chine, probably the biggest race series in Quebec, in Eastern Canada, maybe overall. Which door this opened to you for the next season? Because that's where you finally made your first jump from high-level amateur to the UCI level.
So crit series is all about power. It's an hour. And then this gave me the flame to go forward. So I went straight to, I decided, okay, let's do road cycling now. And De Vinci had a spot for me, so I decided to go through. I knew I had to involve my volume of cycling, more and more hours on the bikes to make sure it's gonna be okay. And the pandemic happened.
2020.
You know? Exactly. So a lot of work on the trainer during the same time, studying mechanical engineering. That was a disappointment for me, but it's okay. You know, that was worldwide, you know.
So you started the season with this new team, but at the same time, all the races were now canceled and postponed. And what happened with the team? Did it folded through that time, or you just went on your own afterwards?
They were pretty fragile when I went in, so they had spot because two rider left. They did their things on their own. So I jumped in. So the team kind of was loose a bit, but for sure it would have strengthened with the time. Happens, you know. I don't have words.
Yeah,
it's just I was so sad. It just happened like that, and I saw all the postponed and the canceled race.
And you were ready. You worked so hard in the winter on the trainer. I remember watching your Strava rides, and your power numbers were actually a good step from
200K on the rollers, and oh man, I did that like a few times that winter, but no, can't do that anymore.
So 2020 was a season to forget. And 2021, that's where you had another opportunity with another team to do your first stage race. Why don't you talk to us about that?
Okay, so thanks to Desjardins Ford, which now is a UCI girls team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy for them that they're bringing the girls into the big scene. Very happy for them. And honestly, they gave me a chance to do Joe Martin with them. So I grabbed it and I was like, let's get it. It's the first UCI road race. I was ready for it. So let's get back.
Mm-hmm.
And it went pretty well, yeah.
The Desjardins Ford at that time, was it only like a U23 team, development team? But you were over 23. So
I know.
What kind of things you had to do to get the invite? So why did they decide to give you a chance there and not one of their 19, 20 years old kid who would have benefit from that experience?
I think they saw all the goals that I had because a few guys into the team, they were all good, all super nice, but they started cycling and they were like on another path, I would say. Mm-hmm. But they saw the ingoing in me, like, you want to race, so why not? Like, let's give him a chance.
That's awesome. That's amazing. It's to hear that. But what happened after the Joe Martin stage race? You could not stay with the team, or what happened there?
But as I said, they were clear on their pep talk. I mean, they wanted to bring a girls team to another level, and this is what they did. And thanks to them, and this is incredible what they brought to us and the boys team too.
So they gave you a chance to do your first UCI stage race in 2021. And 2022, that's where you had a huge UCI season for a semi-pro. Which team you then went to? How did that work? And we need to talk about your season.
Okay, so now we're talking about when I jumped to YOLO. That's right?
YOLO, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so YOLO was a bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I would say thanks to the manager who did that, because I wouldn't never had the chance to do those big races. But at the same time, it's been difficult a few times, and I had to manage by myself a few solutions to do the race and manage the trips and everything. But thanks for the opportunity, for sure.
Yes, and about the opportunity here, I have the list of all the races you've done, which is super incredible. South Aragon Tour, UCI 2.2, Rhodes Grand Prix, UCI 1.1, Tour of Rhodes 2.2, Tour of Gila 2.2, Joe Martin 2.2, CBU 2.1, Nogent sur Oise 1.2. And this is a lot of big races all in one season. So you were in Europe with the team, and you've did some UCI points. Mm-hmm. How does that work? What's UCI points exactly?
I had my other chance with YOLO, so I was like, okay, I had the first race with Desjardins. I remember the time with the pandemic with the Vinci. I was like, okay, I broke the ice with Desjardins. First UCI is done. I got a chance. Let's get to a real season of UCI race with YOLO. I've been training a lot during winter. I've been to Spain, and I put the mileage on and on with my coach. A few people around helped me, and they recognized them, so thank you. And I started climbing more and more, because that was the way I need to work on my weaknesses, because I'm a puncher sprinter, but the climb were the point to involve in. I've been to Greece, and the shape was good. I put the mileage on, so there's nothing easy, but I mean, there's nothing is surprising, because I put the effort in. I put the work in.
So you've done fourth place, if I'm correct, at which race?
It's a one-day race in Greece. We've been there for 3 weeks, which there's a multiple race, but that was a one-day race, which is better for me, because I could just I've been full gas all the way in this race. And
How was the finish? Was it a bunch sprint? Was it
a
breakaway?
bunch sprint with a few guys. We were maybe 20 because during this race, actually, we had a big climb, which is like, I think, 9 kilometers climb.
That's long.
That's a long climb. So I managed to get into the summit, but we had a breakaway of climbers, of course. We catch them on the wind side. And then it was all the pack conclude. And with around like 20K to go, they had another hill, which is like 4.5 kilometers. And I managed to hold on the small bridge. I was cutting every gap. I suffered so much. I could feel my arms. I remember that. And I was struggling. I mean, like gasping. And I did it. I made it. And we just got it. We went to a bunch sprint with maybe 20 guys. One Team Coop, which is a Norway team, was up there, and I managed to get third in the sprint. So that was the fourth place, the 20 UCI points.
And this fourth place is very important because...
Yes.
All right, guys, quick interruption of the podcast because I want to give a little shout out to all the brands that support this YouTube channel for me to do this as a full-time cycling YouTuber. So if you go to the description down below, there will be affiliate links and discount codes. So if you buy using these links or codes, I will get a commission out of it and it funds this whole operation. So if you need wheels, frames, nutrition, power meter, clothes, anything you might need, it might be in the description down below. So yeah, if you need something, use the links. It'll help the channel. All right, without further ado, let's get back to the episode. At the end of the season, you had the chance to do the Grand Prix Montréal, Quebec, but before talking about the race, why Team Canada got you on the team to do those races? Why you?
I mean, this is a question I asked myself. Why me? You probably see all the involvement and the effort I put on, you know. I only took one class this year. I'm going to go all out with biking. I got my season that I knew I had before the pandemic. So let's get it. 20 points of Greece helped me a lot because I won one of the criteria to get into the GPs, the UCI points. But another one, which is the second World Tour you were talking about at the beginning, in Romania, there was a 5-stage race tour of Sibiu. And the last one, everyone was tired. I managed to get in, and I finished 25th, something like that. The sprint was going so fast in the bunch. I was kind of scared a bit. And the night at the hotel, I got this. I received a text from Nigel. Nigel is the manager of Cycling Canada, and he said, "Congrats, bud! You made it. You gotta attempt the GPs with the national team."
So you learned that in that tour. At the end of the stage race, you got the text and you say, "Hey, we might."
Yeah, I was still toasted from the 5 days of racing there, and all the Norways were already back in the plane, and I was the only one like visiting the city by myself, doing a half day. And I heard the news on the phone, and after suffering and putting all the,
it pays off.
It pays off, man. But so I'll be honest, I start trying.
So at that point, in which month was that? How many times you had knowing you were going to do the GP beforehand?
Okay,
couple weeks, couple months.
No, it's months, like 2 months before. Okay. 2 months before.
So how did you change your preparation for the GPs? Did your training plan change? Did your coach adjust something, or you just kept rolling with what worked?
Yeah, I talked with the coach, and he was very happy about that, and me too, you know. And once we knew about the GPs, we were okay. Like, we need to put a big load of work because that's gonna be so difficult. Just finish the race is hard, you know. But with the team, we had some issues with the GP laws, and we could attempt the next race, budget, financial issues. So it's okay, you know. It happens, you know.
I mean, we in the last episode with Ryan, owner of Team Scotland, we talked about how difficult it is financially to run UCI. Like Ryan said, you're at the bottom of the top, which I love this expression. But it happens. But you still find your way through past it and then move forward.
You need to be strong mentally. I mean, I always say that the cycling is mental. It's your drive that goes into your physique. And I knew the race was canceled, so I texted back the coach. I was like, what I'm going to do? There's like a month and a half left before the GPs, and there's no more racing, UCI racing, where I can keep the shape on. I was like, that's no good. That's really no good. So what should I do? And he said like, okay, come back to the country. We're going to just train as hell. I'm going to do that. I got a good background. I did the Olympic on the track. I'll do it for you. I'll put all the time that you need. I was like, okay. And I checked the race in Quebec. And at the time they were starting back after the pandemic. And they had like a big pause, a big break during the season that I was at the same time, so I was okay, damn, no racing, just training before those big race. I was like, whoa, what I'm gonna do? Yeah. So I text a few buddies. Those buddies, which is Fixi Boy, organized the Enfants des Patriotes, which is an excellent race.
Yes,
that was incredible.
I need to get Mathis on the podcast at some point.
Of course, I thought I was in Belgium during this race, and this is where I'm going into. With her talk. So I went to Belgium. Yeah. This is it. The solution was going to Belgium because you can race as an independent. And those kermesses, they are so difficult. I raced with the brother of Mathieu Van Der Poel, David Van Der Poel. And I was doing probably the Mardi cyclist watts, which is 380 watts average. And for like, but a bit less than that, sorry. And for like 3 hours in the Kermesse, in the wind, the little streets, managing your place. So that was the point. I was going by bike at the race, doing the race, and coming back. So that was like 200K day.
Every time.
Not every time. I kind of to put the volume on. Yeah. And that was the perfect way I could manage the preparation for the GPs.
So let me just quickly recap here. You come back home. There's no races. There's no way for you to level up to get ready. So you took everything yourself. You took your bike by yourself. You went to Belgium to race and
by
get
myself.
Ready. That's incredible.
I don't know where I can find this energy. And even now when I'm talking about that, like, there's something else that drives me to get there.
For
because
sure.
I don't know, that was like an automatic for me. And I went through that, and it's going to be good all my life, I think.
So that preparation was exactly what you needed to come back and get ready for the GP. So how many races have you done in Belgium, actually? And is there a bit like, is there more races than here in Quebec? Is there a race every 2 days? How does that work over there? We don't know much about it.
It's good that you're talking about that, because I had to choose sometime.
You had to choose
where I'm going, because there's
and when I'm resting.
Exactly. That was the point. When I'm resting, because there's always a race right there. There's a race every day, and sometimes there's 2 races in a day. So like, which one I should go? So I was asking the locals sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So the scene there, and how would you compare the level of Belgium racing to Quebec S1, Cat 1?
So I would say I suffer as a TT in Quebec, but in the wheels in Belgium of others.
Wow. Okay, so it is a little step up.
It was like moto pace. Yeah.
That's incredible. So you come back from Belgium by yourself here. How much time before the Grand Prix? And then how did you recover from those races? Did you took the training now a little bit more easy coming back home a week or 2 before, or you still put the time and the power?
The training was done.
Yeah.
Once I came back, I just took it easy, come back in your teens and prepare mentally for it. But all the volume, the physical abilities were done. I've been lucky on one thing, because the last race before taking the plane, I crashed in the downhill, which there's no hill in Belgium. They had one race in the downhill, and mistake. I've been catching in the breakaway. I still dizzy a bit. I went at the back, starting eating, and a few guys break so quickly, and could manage. So we had a bunch crash, and that was like 70 kilometers per hour.
Whoa.
I've been lucky, like broke the frame, but didn't broke myself.
So wow, that's a good point. So you broke the bike that you planned to use at the GP, but at least you did not break bones.
That's the case. So it's I cross my fingers right now. So I've been hooked up with Argon once I came back, and thanks to the cycling world for that.
Yeah. So they hook you up with a new bike, you get the mileage, and then a couple days or weeks later, you're on the start line of a true World Tour races next to incredible names. Like we mentioned, Pogacar was there, Van Aert was there, Sagan was there, Pinot was there. What's your feeling, and what you told yourself on the start line?
At the beginning, I could believe it, but before continuing on that, let's bring back to the Quebec guy. I mean, Guillaume Boivin, which is a good guy, was there. Hugo Hull was there after his what he did with winning a stage race. So I was with those guys who are all the time with those pros, and they're back home. They just look like a star, and they're cool with us because they knew. They knew
they knew the hard work you put in to be there.
They knew it exactly
because they went through it.
Yeah, they went exactly through it.
Do you feel that maybe some other local Canadians who thought like, why you and not me? Who's maybe better climber or better cyclist? Like, did you felt some fallback from the community, or it was very supportive?
No, they were supportive. Quebec, that's a kind of race that was made for me. Of course, GP of Montreal, which is 5,000 meters of elevation. There's no stage at the Tour de France they did that in the Alps.
The amount of climbing.
The amount of climbing. So we all knew it was done, even with good preparation. I mean, I'm not a pure climber. Okay, so maybe some pure climber were like, okay, that should have been me. Yeah. But it's like a package deal. Yeah. You're doing Quebec, you're doing Montreal, and the breakaway was the tip to get the visual. So Quebec, actually, man, I was like pretty confident to finish this one. Actually, it's once the trick guy Simon attack. He broke the pack. I was just beside Ivan Cortinas from Movistar. Actually, he did the fixed gear things with me. So I met him in the hotel. And you're here. All right, that's cool. So it's a friendly face. The world is so small. Just as Belgian, I was with the Remco fans. It's the mother of Remco. The father was there. It's like the bike community is so small. Yeah. And Quebec, with less than 30 kilometers, I cramped.
Oh, no.
But mentally, physically, I was there and I cramped one shot. So, but if I can do this race another year, this is the goal.
Okay. So when you cramped and then you got left the field, you can't just keep riding. At what point you get DNF? Is the vehicle behind, as soon as you're out of the peloton, you're done? You're DNF?
That's the trick. I should have just continued by myself, even if I had like cramp, know.
Yeah, because you slow down and then
I would have finished the race because less than a few meters after I cracked, the pack just blew out. Yeah. So honestly, that was a mistake by myself because I could have just finished.
But it's your first World Tour race. You didn't have the experience. You didn't know. So maybe like now for the next one.
I had the Romania, which is like, it was my second World Tour race.
I forgot.
Yeah, it's okay.
But then, okay, so it's good to know that at least like mentally, it would have been better if you would have stayed until the end.
Yeah, it's a big learning because I was like, okay, I'm done. What's the point to continue? But of course, my thoughts were not right. I mean, I should have just keep rolling.
But we have to keep context. You've been for the last 3 hours, like behind some of the best cyclists in the world. Like, it's all right to when you're out, like your mind kind of shut down. It's like, I've done what I could. Like, I'm not gonna push it by myself now.
I did. I mean, the team manager was pretty happy with her statement, what we did. We had a guy in the breakaway. Carson was there.
Yeah.
We were on the radio, just encourage herself. That was a great moment in the old port of Quebec. And I was suffering kind of at the back, pacing kind of like that, but pacing. And I saw Pogacar in my wheel. I was like, what the fuck he's doing there? But obviously, like, I watched him.
Yeah.
And he took my wheel for like a few laps, like
really?
I mean, like three laps probably.
That's a long time.
But I got a good draft, so
yeah. So Pogacar probably said, "This is probably the tallest and biggest guy in the peloton."
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, he took the draft, and I just watched him back, and is that him for real? Is that him? And he's just smiled at me, man. Just and like, he was like, okay, he's confident about me taking my wheel. That's fine. I don't mind. I love it.
Do you have a photo of that, of him behind you?
In my head, I got a photo.
In your head.
Yeah.
That's
but
so
probably
good.
There's some photo of it.
All right, well, we're going to call out if there's a photographer out there who has a photo of Nic in front of Pogacar.
Yeah,
that's the type of thing that you print, you put on your wall.
You print
show your kids in 20 years.
It's printed in my mind. I don't mind.
That's awesome. So you DNF Quebec, which is you thought you would finish, but heading to Montreal, knowing there was a lot more climbing. Did you came to the start line knowing like it's a matter of time until I'm done? Because now we're 2 days after, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about Montreal.
Like even the point was trying to make the breakaway. Antoine Duchesne did it, and that's cool because that was his last race. But even him cracked. It's the experienced rider, did the Tour de France. Quebec was difficult, and I didn't finish because of cramping. And I knew Montreal would have been way more difficult. So I was like, oh, it's a matter of time, of course. So what's the best option? Startup breakaway. That's it. And this is we launched all the riders together, and I've been asking tips, and he said that to me. You want to be in the breakaway, you need to surprise them. So do a good warm up. This is what I did, a few efforts before the 200k something. It's stupid, but this is what you need to do. Yeah. And straight at the beginning, I put like 1,000 watt back.
Yeah, you started from the gun.
Let's get it. It's now or never. And I went through mid Camille, and I was like, did I get it? And I saw those guys were catching so fast, and they're not gonna let us go for sure.
No, so right through that first Camille mid climb, you were already catched.
Yeah, and I mean that was the point. I had one bullet, and that was the bullet. I mean, at some point, they're doing like a wall, a shield wall, and they're like, okay, the breakaway is made. But they could have done this since straight the beginning.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. So that was.
So you could have get your 3, 4, 5 laps by yourself, or with the.
More than that. If they are like, okay, the breakaway is gone, you can do like half a race in the breakaway.
True.
Yeah.
That could have been good exposure, I would say, or good.
Yeah, but that was the point. Didn't happen, and I suffered to come back, of course. And I was liner like 2 laps to go. I've been into the caravan. I came up again, and that's it. I managed to recover good by chance.
So, how long have you stayed in the race for, and when did you got popped?
With 6 laps to go.
So at that point, how much kilometers in and elevation in roughly?
It was 60 something kilometers left. So where the race was starting to suffer a lot. Yeah. And I managed to do 3,000 meters, a bit more.
For like of racing, that's so much time.
Yeah. But I had a good preparation to do that. Yeah. And, if continue training, I don't know, it's maybe not finished. Yeah. It's a sport where you need to dedicate your life and just go forward. It's just about training.
All right, guys, last little interruption of the show to remind you that there are links in the description down below to get some discounts on cycling gear. This supports this YouTube channel, so if you need something, get it from there, and you're going to get a discount. I'm going to get a cut of it, and it's a win-win. All right, let's get back to the episode. If I have this question, and you know that you have the experience. Like we know, let's say you take a scale of range of skill set. If you have your beginner racer and like S1 Cat 1 racer, there's a huge gap in between. It from S1 Cat 1 to those World Tour, how big is the gap? Is it like as big as the beginners, or is it like through the roof more difficult?
You mean in Quebec?
Yeah. If you compare it.
Man, and of course the riders getting better and better. You just watch right now on Canada National, which is admire what they're doing right now. They just they go through, they force the race in, they just go in a breakaway, and they manage to work together as a team. You need a solid group of riders who's working together and just strong. This is the same thing they did at GPs. Before, some sprinter were putting the game on. Peter Sagan, Greg Van Avermaet. They were a drop at the GPs. Why? Because the race is now way more difficult than before.
Got it.
So those sprinters, they need to change their tactics. And this is what I'm going to do right now. I don't have a choice.
So, because if you want, now that the races are so difficult, it rarely ends up into a field sprint.
No, and
even on the amateur level,
and that's the tips. Like right now, if you just watch the Mardi Cycliste, which is a fast game, which is not pro like the GPs and stuff, but that's a nice race and for a short time. And most of the race is gonna be in the breakaway for sure.
So now you have to adapt the way you are.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I mean, the legs need to be. I mean, I'm not a specific physiologist, but the acid lactic in your legs, you need to work on that and make sure like you do some longer pull, those 5 hard minutes. And so prepare your mental, prepare your physical abilities, and that's it.
So the season finished 2022 finished with the GPs for you. I know you work on school a lot to finish your degree, but then what happened? Didn't the phone ring left and right to get you under the team next season? What happened there?
But that's the point. I mean, I'm not gonna put a cross on my engineering degree. So the day after the GPs, I was sitting in class getting a tribology class, which is and my legs was still sore. And I was climbing the mountain with an helicopter the day before, and now I'm just listening to my teacher. And what's the hell going on? You know, what's my life right now? Do I need to make a choice? All the mothers and aunt talking like continue school. And it's almost done right now. It's almost done. But of course, it cut me a leg for this season. The phone didn't ring. I didn't have the time to socialize with teams to make sure the things gonna happen. I was like, I proved myself, right? So I'm gonna have a call, and into the cycling world, there's nothing free. I mean, you need to push things to make things happen, push things. So you need to, even if you're super good, you need to take the phone and call by yourself.
So you didn't push, and then January, February came up, and then you had no more opportunity for UCI team?
There's a few respond me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure. I mean, I knew I had to do a big year at school. And this is what I did.
Which I believe it might have been the right choice, of course.
And I was like, I think we'll have another chance. We'll see. Let's just follow the wave and we'll see.
Because now that you almost have your degree in your back pocket, just like me, I have my engineering degree as well. It's in my back pocket. I'm not using it right now, but
it's a joker.
It's a joke. Yeah, it's a joker card. That it's like if everything goes bad, you still have that, and it's a huge accomplishment. And I'm glad you went through it. But now that you said you want to get back at it, but maybe not with the same condition that you live.
No, for sure. I don't want any roller coasters.
So in the ideal world for you would be a more established team with proper support, sport director,
something organized,
a real
with a
organization.
structure. I recognize I can push things in life.
Yeah.
But
You need a team.
You need a team. Just as the Mardi cyclist, it's not a pro race, but you need a team.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you're like, I also admire my good friend Adam Roberge, who goes to those gravel races by alone. He's his own sport director, own mechanic, own nutritionist. He doing this alone on the world stage is impossible.
Yeah, but in gravel it's possible
Gravel
because
is.
it's more like a friendly crowd.
Yeah.
But even Adam, he got a good mentor. I noticed him doing some reading a lot, doing codes, and I was like, oh, maybe I should do that too. But I had to study too much. You know, it's more into the scientific world that I match myself with cycling. But of course, for sure, it's difficult for him. But cycling is just not easy. Point.
Every aspect of it.
It's not easy point, but I would love to get back in the team and with the proper structure for sure.
So now that you're wrapping up your engineering degree with internship at a bike company, we want to talk about that quickly.
And I'm so happy. I just had the news 2 days ago. I got a call which is a faction bike. It's a nice compact faction bike. Yeah.
Never heard.
They're at Granby, just beside Bromont. Really beautiful place to ride mountain bike road. And they are doing engineering design for multiple big companies into cycling. And that's it.
They design frame for other companies.
Frame components and. So they decide to give me a chance, and I'll do my last internship with them.
That's awesome.
And then the final engineering project, school is done.
Yeah.
And
so then you can get back to cycling.
We'll see.
100%. We'll see.
We'll see.
Nic, I really hope you get another chance at it. It's been such an interesting conversation, and I think now let's go for a ride.
Let's go for a ride
because we have a race tomorrow.
Yeah.
Mathis.
Mathis once again. Thanks, Mathis.
All right, guys. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. What an amazing episode here with Nicolas. If you guys enjoy it, please don't forget, leave a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. It supports a lot more. Let me know if you want more guests, more podcasts. I'm not too sure if I'm going to continue the podcast series, if I'm going to get more guests over. So if you do enjoy, you want more, please let me know. But yeah, I truly enjoyed this episode with Nic, and I hope you guys did too. So thanks again for watching. My name is Charles, and I will see you guys on the road or into the next episode.